to my channel, and thank you for stopping by if you're new. And I know there's a lot of you who are new. I've gained over like 2,000 subscribers in the last few weeks, and I'm mind blown because my channel hasn't really grown that much since like 2018, 2017, somewhere around that time. So I'm super grateful for all of you that are new, that are here. I actually left my channel in the Lord's hands, and I know that if I'm talking about what he wants me to talk about, or if I'm in his will, that he will bring the increase, and that means the increase in all kinds of ways. Because y'all know, like these days, a lot of people really don't care to hear the things that I talk about. Like, I talk a lot about God and what he's doing in my life, how he's changing me, the things I'm learning and stuff like that. And I mix it in, with the hair videos and the vlogs and stuff like that. But for the most part, people really don't want to hear anything about God. So I'm super grateful for all of you that are here, that have come to listen, that care to hear. I'm grateful, and I'm just excited for God to get the glory because it's not about me. Today, we're going to talk about how I know it's time for me to take a social media break. My video where I share 5 tips of how I grew closer to God. I mentioned in that video that one of the ways is that I take social media breaks. And there were a few comments of people who were saying, how do I do that? And social media is definitely an addiction. So I understand the question, like, how do I take a social media break? When do I take a social media break? So today I'm going to share with y'all how I know it's time for me personally to take a social media break. Now, this is in no particular order, but the first way that I know that it's time for me to take a social media break is when I come to the realization that I've been neglecting my prayer time, Bible study time, or just talking to God in general. A break, because it's so easy to get caught up in the scrolling on social media, and you can do that for hours and not even realize it, especially on TikTok. Like, you can scroll TikTok for hours and not even know that hours have gone by. But then when somebody asks you, have you prayed today? Did you read your Bible today? Like, did you talk to God today? It's like, oh, I didn't have time. I had so much stuff to do. Yet we had so many hours of scroll time on social media. And that includes, for me, that includes Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And I would just scroll, scroll, scroll. I'll scroll on one, then hop to the other. Scroll on that one, then hop to the other. And scroll on that one, then hop back to the first one. And then, like, it's a black hole. I don't know if y'all know, well, you probably do, but that new app that came out, Lemon 8, a friend told me about it at first, and she thought I should get on it because it's so me, like the things that I like to do. And immediately I told her I don't need the app because it's just a distraction. I don't need any more distractions. Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is a distraction enough. But I ended up downloading it just to try it out. I think I posted like 2 posts. It was cool, but for me, it was redundant because basically the stuff you post on there, you can post on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. So I really didn't feel the need to have it. So I didn't post anything else. And that was another one that I got off of once I started this social media break. I didn't even tell y'all that I was on a social media break right now. So it's May 4th. I started my social media break May 1st. And I don't know how long it's going to last. However the Lord tells me to stay off or leads me to stay off is how long I'm going to stay off. So yeah, Lemon 8, I deleted that one, and I don't think I'm going to be getting back on it because while I was on it and scrolling and I realized how repetitive it is with Instagram and all that, I was like, this is definitely a distraction. Because why do I need another way to look at the same stuff that I can look at on Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook? So even if I was to ever get back on social media, I don't think I would be getting back on Lemon 8 because it's just no purpose. That's one way, my first way that I know it's time for me to take a social media break. When I've been neglecting my time with God or my mood is just messed up. Because when you listen to some good worship songs or you pray, you read your Bible, your mood shifts. Like, it changes, it shifts the atmosphere is what I'm trying to say. So that's one way. Another way I know it's time for me to take a break is when my house isn't being properly cared for and I'm being unproductive and lazy. And it's so easy to fall into that when you work from home or when you are a stay-at-home mother. It's so easy to fall into that unproductive trap. When I realize that, while I'm sitting there being unproductive, I'm scrolling, it's like, no, this is taking up the time that I could be using to get my house together. Like, why am I spending all this time looking at other people's houses, watching other people clean their houses, when mine is being neglected. Now, my house is by no means disgusting, nasty, or nothing like that. But there's always something you can do in a house. There's always something you can clean, especially when you have kids. And now my kids are teenagers, but teenagers act like they don't know how to clean up behind themselves either. When I realize that I'm putting more of my attention onto social media than the things that require my immediate attention or that are my responsibility or that are a higher priority, it's time to take a break. So another way I know that it's time for me to take a break is if I'm on social media, if I'm anxious while I'm scrolling because of the things that I can't control that I see. Y'all know when you get on Instagram, like if something bad has happened in the world, you're going to see it a million bajillion times in a million bajillion different ways from a million bajillion different angles. And I don't want to see that. Like I feel like on Instagram, we don't have a lot of control over what we see, what we consume. Because yes, while there is an algorithm, there's still a lot of other things that they push, that other people show that you may not want to see. But it's their page. They can post what they want. They can share what they want. But you don't necessarily want to see it, but you end up having to see it in order to scroll past it to get to something else. I don't want to see things on police brutality. I don't want to see any plane crashes. I don't want to see child abuse. I don't want to see half-naked women or men, especially from those professing Christianity. Like those are things you can't control while you're scrolling on Instagram. If I'm always feeling anxious, I don't want to see certain things. Certain things mess with my mind. Certain things get in my spirit and disturb my spirit. If that's the case while I'm on there, I don't need to be on there. And I actually thought about just creating a page where only my family and friends, close friends, have access to me. But then I still thought about it and I was like, that still wouldn't make a difference because I'm still going to be seeing whatever Instagram is force feeding me. Whatever they want me to see, I'm still going to see it. So there's still going to be days where my mood gets messed up, where my spirit gets disturbed. And then I got to go pray to get this off of me. Like, that's when I know it's time to get off. And that's actually not what drove me to do a break this time. But I noticed that while I was on, I was getting real anxious. And not just anxious with the things that I can't control that I see, but anxious or like feeling like I'm not where I'm supposed to be in life just by watching other people's highlight reels. And I don't envy nobody's life. I'm not jealous of anybody's life. But the constant scrolling it messes up our mental, basically. And when I'm starting to feel like, dang, I need to have this for my house, I need to have that, because it's time to go. Because nobody is going to tell me that I'm not blessed. Regardless of what I don't have, what I do have, nobody's going to tell me that I'm not blessed. I'm very blessed. And y'all have heard me say before that scrolling on social media at one point made me ungrateful for the home that I have, because I was looking at all these Pinterest worthy houses and places looking like an interior designer then came in and decorated. So it made me feel like my house wasn't good enough because I don't have an all white kitchen and stuff like that. And I'm past that. And I'm grateful for what I have. But still, just that consistent and constant scrolling, it starts to seep back in. And if you don't catch it, you go right back down that rabbit hole of being ungrateful and experiencing discontentment with what you have, with what you are blessed with. So yeah, that's another way I know it's time to go. Another way I know it's time for me to take a break is just when I have a nudge in my spirit to do it, and I get those nudges a lot. Especially when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Like Facebook is pretty much, well, Facebook is people that I know, people like my family and stuff like that. So there's not a lot of noise there. It's basically just keeping up with them, seeing their milestones and the things they want to share and stuff like that, because I don't live anywhere near my family. Like the only person I live near is my mom. Everybody else is scattered, but the majority are like in Louisiana, Mississippi, those places. So there's a lot of things that I'm not able to get down there for, and Facebook is my way of keeping up with what's going on and seeing the pictures from the events and stuff like that. When I'm on Instagram and TikTok, I often feel a nudge to get off. And like I said, I don't know how long that will be. I don't know if it'll be forever. Like, I just don't know. But I know that when I get that nudge, it's for a reason. And I use that time when I'm off, every time I use it to draw closer to God. I spend more time reading my Bible. I spend more time praying. I just get back where I know I need to be. And I get to sit still and be quiet so I can hear better without all the noise from social media telling me what I should be doing as a woman, or just period, what I should tolerate and what, like, just all the noise is just a good way to get rid of all the noise from the world and listen to the one who created you tell you whatever he needs to tell you. Whew. Now, another way I know it's time to get off is when I'm tempted to buy everything that I see, whether it's an Instagram ad, Facebook ad, or something that an influencer shows. I've been an influencer, but I consider myself more of a content creator than an influencer because I don't really like trying to sell stuff to people, in all honesty. I'm not a salesperson, but I will show you what I like and leave it up to you to determine if you want to buy it. But a lot of my scrolling has turned into me spending unnecessary money, especially within the last couple of months. I've spent so much unnecessary money on things that I didn't even really need. It just looked good at the moment on that ad or while that influencer was showing it and talking about it. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get that. Just because you can get something don't mean you should. Just because you can afford something don't mean you should buy it. And I've spent so much unnecessary money. And it's mainly from Instagram and TikTok, because y'all know TikTok will have you going to buy everything that's going viral. So I noticed, like, a couple of weeks ago, that I was just buying and buying and buying and buying. And a lot of this stuff I haven't even used yet. A lot of the stuff I haven't even put to use or worn yet. But the fact that I'm on social media and being influenced to buy this stuff, it's time for me to take a step back, because social media should not have that much power over my life to make me just go ahead and blow money. But that's what it does. So I realized then, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to get my butt off of social media, okay, and keep my money in my pocket. So yeah, it's time to get off when you notice yourself feeling like, well, falling into that consumerism trap. And I'm guilty, falling into that consumerism trap, feeling like you need to have or need to buy everything that you see on social media. Like I said, whether it's an ad or through an influencer, you don't need it. Even the stuff I show. If you don't have the funds, not even that if you don't have the money, just if you don't even need it, like, if you don't need it, don't buy it. Regardless of how good I make it look, regardless of how good somebody else makes it look. If you don't need it, don't buy it. Don't fall into that trap. And the last reason is just because, like, getting off of social media protects your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, like everything that is you is protected when you're not on social media, because it just takes such a toll on your mental health. And I don't think it's no coincidence that with the rise of social media, that so many people are depressed, anxious, having mental health breakdowns, committing this. Like, there's no coincidence in that at all. And I don't care who you're looking at, what pages you follow, it's gonna have an effect, good or bad, or both at the same time, you know, on your mental health, especially your spiritual health and your emotional health. I just think everybody at some point needs to take a social media break, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year. Get off of it forever. Because for me, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, I don't know how long I'm gonna be off, but I'm working towards staying off of it forever. Yeah, and the need to feel like everything about my life has to be posted. Like, I'm already a pretty private person because everything in my life isn't on display on social media. But even the things that I do share, like, I feel like when we go out to eat, they're looking at me, like my husband and kids are looking at me like, you gonna take a picture first so we can eat? Like, that should not be. We should be able to eat without taking pictures first. We should be able to go on vacation without feeling like, oh, let me do this photo shoot so I can post this on social media and get all these likes. And like, we should be able to live our lives without caring to document our lives so other people can see our lives and think our lives are so great. That's basically all social media is. In some aspect, they want to be seen. And my mom made me think about that one day, because she said somebody her age, and my mom is in her 60s. She said somebody her age was on social media and doing this and doing that. She was like, I guess everybody want to be seen. And at first, I got a little mad because I'm like, "What you mean? Everybody want to be seen like is that a hit at me?" Like I actually thought that, but then it made sense to me because the majority of the accounts on social media aren't private just for family and friends. They are public for the world to see because you want to be seen by the world. Like some people have the idea that, oh, I want to get on social media and become a content creator or an influencer because I want to be famous. I want the fame. I want the money. I want, eyes on me. And I realized that at a point in my social media journey, that was the case for me. But the older I get, I'm realizing I don't need all that attention. I don't want all that attention. I don't need people to know everything that's going on in my life. You don't need to see everything I eat. You don't need to know everywhere I go. You definitely don't need to know every aspect or every detail about my marriage or my family life. So, yeah, it's been a long video, kind of a rant, but I saw this comment on one of my videos and I just had to address it because I know it's hard for a lot of people to realize, like, people are so addicted and so it's such a stronghold that people don't realize when it's time to step back or to let it go altogether. So I hope y'all found this video helpful. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would say follow me on Instagram, but you ain't got to because I don't know when I'm getting back on there. So you'll just be following uh an inactive page at the moment. But if you do want to follow me on Instagram, my name is at LaPortia Tanzel, same as YouTube. So yeah, I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.